Welcome to 101 on God 101. Our guest today is America, your favorite house guest of the last season of Big Brother, Keanu. Welcome, Keanu.
Hi, Julie. How are you, Mama J?
Mama J. I
How
love
you doing?
I'm doing well. I love that name. I've been elevated from auntie to mama. Thank you.
In Texas around here, if I got a mother figure, I always Mama. It's a mama, whatever the first letter is.
I love it. Okay. It's been a few weeks since you've been out of Big Brother world, and we want to catch up with you on that. But first, God. I know you know the Lord. Tell me about how and when your relationship with him, with God started.
I was raised Christian my whole life. Went to a private Christian school, elementary school, and I've always kind of known the Lord and try not to stray too far away. I'm not perfect by any means. But what I really appreciated about being in the Big Brother house is, having so much free time. It kind of allowed me to get back in the habit of reading my Bible regularly. So that's something that I'm proud to say that I continued outside of the house.
That's the only book that is allowed in the Big Brother house.
Right. Yeah.
What books in the Bible were you reading while you were in the house?
I'm pretty sure I made my way through the whole thing, not in like order or anything like that, but yeah, in some way, shape, or form. I was reading a lot. So I read every day in my normal life. So it was kind of like something that I kind of kept going as soon as we got the Bible in there. But I started in 1st and 2nd Samuel because I'm always like enamored with like the kings. So I was reading about Saul first, then David, and then moved into Kings and reading about Solomon and stuff. And, one of the things that I really liked that I read was Solomon's prayer. And that was something that I kind of repeated to myself. Once I had read it in the Bible, I repeated it to myself every day in the house, which was, Lord, I pray for wisdom and a wise and discerning heart and the ability to distinguish between right and wrong. So that was something that I prayed every day once I read it in the house.
Wow. And I know you were also leaning on a verse from Jeremiah when you felt isolated, because you did a nice recording for my son who was rooting for you.
Yeah, it was Joshua 1:9.
Oh, Joshua 1:9. Okay. Yes. Joshua 1:9, which says,
be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you are.
Amen. Beautiful.
Yeah, that was definitely one that I leaned on a lot. And that was because of my mom. She sent me, she had a little bracelet engraved, and because of the engraving, I couldn't bring it in the house, but it came with a little, like a little sticker or something that had Joshua 1:9 on it. So I kept it in my sock drawer in the house. And every time I opened the drawer, I would see it and repeat it to myself.
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
Being that you got through the whole Bible and had time in the Big Brother house to yourself, would you say the time on Big Brother actually drew you in a closer relationship with God?
Yeah, I would most definitely say so. Like I said, that is definitely a habit that I have had in the past. Before my time in the Big Brother house, I kind of like strayed away from reading my Bible regularly, maybe just reading it in church and stuff like that. But being in there and, I hate to say it like this, but not having anything else to do, it kind of was just like, I was like, well, I got plenty of time, so I might as well read. But you know what? Sometimes you kind of need that like no options kind of thing, and just, it just worked out. And now it's a habit that I have again outside of the house. So I'm actually really thankful for it.
Wonderful. All right, let's talk about your time in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Now that you've been out and you look back, how would you describe to someone the experience?
If I had to give them like one word, it'd be like unique.
So it wasn't what you thought it would be, right? We always say
no, definitely not. I thought I was gonna go in there and in my everyday life I have zero issues making friends. Generally very well liked. And So I thought I was going to go in there and play a good social game. Now being out of the house and doing a couple podcasts with people that are like huge Big Brother fans and like know significantly more about the game than I do, because I was relatively new to the game going into the house. Yeah, I understand that I did not play a very good social game.
Now, why not? What is the critique people have given you? What was wrong with your social game? Because America loves you.
Oh yeah, but it's funny because America is always going to love an underdog story, right? And it's funny that the underdog story or an underdog narrative was created because of me. When I stood up and told everybody I was going to pick them off one by one, that's kind of like the catalyst for everyone being like, "Oh, really?" And then every week they're going to try and get me out from there. But so yeah, I kind of created that narrative myself. Funny enough, but yeah, I didn't like that the fact that Jimmy stood up and said that everybody was lying to me. So I kind of like in that moment had like a little bit of a human moment of weakness, and I was like, "Oh, really? Everybody says that, huh? Well, gonna pick you all off." So yeah, I didn't do myself any favors by starting the game off hot like that.
Has your relationship with any of your former housemates changed since you're all out of the house now?
Um, I mean, not really. I mean, you got to remember, it's all about perspective, right in there. So, like from my perspective in there, I was great with a lot of people, but now that I'm out of the house and I see some of the things that some of my house guests were saying, I realized that I was not at all. But from my perspective, my relationship with them hasn't changed. I was close to Kelly in the house. We still speak now. I was close to Vinny in the house, and I'll text him every now and then just to check up on him, see how he's doing. And so, my relationship hasn't changed with any of them really.
How is Vince doing?
He's good. I mean, to my knowledge, I from what I understand, he put out a little YouTube video the other day addressing, whatever he's been addressing. But as far as like he and I go, I have a relationship with him like I do with a lot of my other guy friends. And I'll see a meme or something on Instagram and I'll send it to him like, "Hey man, this reminded me of you," and we'll just kind of laugh about it, things like that.
All right. What about your friend of me, Rachel?
It's funny, like in the house, I feel like Rachel and I were really close. I enjoyed talking to her tremendously while we were in the house. And she's been in the reality show business for 15 years, so she has like so many stories, and I really enjoyed speaking to her. And it was like kind of like basically like watching television. Like when I would speak to her, I'd be like, "Yo, tell me about season 2 of your stint on Amazing Race," and she'll go through the whole story, and I'm like, "Yo, that sounds so sick. I would love to do," you know what I mean? But being outside of the house now, we don't really have too much in common. I feel like the one thing we do have in common was playing the game. And so, when we speak, it's more like kind of businessy, kind of related stuff. So, when I see her at the Over the Edge celebration or something in December, maybe we'll get back to talking about other things. But right now it's mostly business stuff.
Winning America's favorite house guest, you won a lot of money. It was 50 grand, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yes. 50 grand. What are you doing with the money?
A lot of people are like, "Oh yeah, he's gonna help his dad." Right now I'm fortunate enough to say that my dad's in remission.
Praise God.
Yeah, exactly. Thank God. He does, however, have cancer in his spine, so it's kind of like not a matter of when, it's more like if. But for right now, he's good. So right now my plans for that money is just to kind of invest it, be responsible. I wish I had like a sexy answer, but
That's the smart thing to do.
yeah.
And did you go back to life as usual? Kettlebell coach, gaming, how has life changed for you, if at all?
Yeah, well, there's definitely been a lot of changes. I would say the the most prominent change is I get noticed a lot. So that's been pretty cool. And like I didn't think I would handle it any different way, but early on in the game, when I was talking to Rachel one time, she was like, "Oh," she was telling me that she's very gracious with her time. Something that was something that when we spoke about really stuck with me. And so I remember that conversation that, and not that have the personality that's like, "Oh, I'm too good for you to get away from me." But like I just remember that conversation, and whenever somebody's coming up to me, it's because they really like admire me, or I made an impression on them, and that's always kind of cool to know, especially when they let you know that. You know what I mean?
Have you watched the episodes? Have you gone back?
I've seen more of like the live feed kind of breakdowns from a couple of the people that do that stuff, because I feel like that's kind of where the like wealth of knowledge is,
Mhm.
more so than the edited version of what happened. But I have seen for no particular reason up to the memory bridge episode where I said I believe you have a prompt.
Which actually has led you into a little side business with that. Your
Oh
t-shirts.
yeah, yeah. I got the merch line coming out. I got pre-orders available.
I
This
love
is
it. That
this
is
is the crop top, and then I'm wearing the mineral wash one for the. Well, I guess it's kind of unisex, the mineral wash one. The crop top one, I guess technically could be too, but
those words hit a button with Ava. How do things stand with her since that now?
yeah, I just like our relationship. Is kind of just like I'll comment on a couple posts that she has out there, but I feel like she's kind of keeping a lot to herself. So, good for her.
Would you ever do Big Brother again?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Are you kidding me? I'm like one of those people that when I get into something, like I want to be the best at it. So like I'm studying my butt off now. Like I wish I would have known about the things that I know about now going into the house, cuz all I did was watch like the episodes for a bunch of the seasons, Don't get me wrong, I definitely studied my butt off, but I think what I clung on to were the things that you probably don't need to cling on to.
Like,
Um, I was really like enamored with like my two of my favorite seasons that I watched, because I watched 5 seasons before I went into the house in like a 3-month period. I just binged 5 full seasons. And the two that I enjoyed the most were 16 and 20. And both those seasons have really prominent duos. And within those duos, they have prominent alliances that very clearly split the house in half. And I'm a team sports guy. So like when I saw that, I was like, oh, Big Brother's a team sport. I could do that all day. And then once you get to like the late mid game, you turned it into a more social kind of strategic chess. And I think it's really more a strategic chess social game throughout the whole thing, not just at that point. So I think I really clung on to the whole, duo idea, and then also being a part of that, like, that alliance, and you don't veer from that. So that was my big oopsie.
we saw that you kept giving Vince, another chance, another chance, another
Yeah.
chance.
Yeah, I mean, there's kind of personal reasons for that. Not to get too into it, but he did remind me a lot of my brother. I think I mentioned this in the exit interview. He reminded me a lot of my brother, and I would never abandon my brother. He could do no wrong, and especially once this is something they didn't show in the edit, and also they didn't show it in the live feeds either because the live feeds weren't on yet. But I had a moment with him early on where we just kind of like both kind of cried and talked about our reasons for being there, and it really just made me feel like, oh, hey, we had that moment. That's what means something to me. And that's what I'm going to ride with the whole game. And there was a part of me that, thought that maybe had I stayed true and faithful to him, that eventually he would just be like, hey, this guy's got my back no matter what. Let me finally turn the switch onto him. But, it never happened. And that's okay.
Well, you won America's favorite house guest, and America still loves you. I thank you for your time. Keanu, Godspeed and God bless you.
Hey, thank you so much. Likewise.